the media can just decide that something is controversial and then everyone has to go along with it and pretend that it is? Like, I'm genuinely sorry, but there's no controversy regarding on how this lady is dressing. Unless you're a middle-aged single lady surrounded by an army of cats, drenched in cat piss, turbulently online, or maybe just stuck into the wage cage at your multi-million-dollar news company where you're taking orders from your editor and you're like, yes, Massa, what am I supposed to be outraged today, Massa? What am I allowed to write about, Massa? Because there is no way that any person from around the world, unless you're like in the Middle East, will you look at this lady and think that she is inappropriate. Like, I am tired of pretending, okay? Like, the gaslighting has reached a certain level where everyone now is fighting against degeneracy, and I get it. But, like, there's one thing between a lady that goes on OnlyFans and sleeps with 1,000 men and another woman that's just young and dresses like this. I mean, you have to be absolutely detached from humanity. You have to pretend that you're not living in 2025, not even like 2020. You have to pretend that you're living in the fucking Middle Ages if this is enough to upset you. I can take this picture into the Romanian church and show it to the babushkas and ask them, like, do you think that this lady is dressing inappropriately? And I will guarantee to you that not a single one of them would have any issues. Like, you need to actually be stuck in a basement and not go out and see how women dress on the streets, especially during the summer. Like, who are we kidding? There is no fucking way that I don't believe that the people from this redaction, the people from the newspapers, their female colleagues do not dress similarly. Like, what is it? She's got a sweater, doesn't show any type of cleavage whatsoever, has a small skirt. Go fuck yourself if you're that offended. You do not belong on the internet. You do not belong on the place where the rest of adults are. Go sit at the kids' table. Go be protected from the evil visage of the male gaze and shut the fuck up. Like, there is no way you can convince me that you're outraged when the Democrat administration had transgender titties in front of the White House. Like, that was actually inappropriate, and I saw that the left didn't really call that out. They weren't that upset about it. I mean, they kind of were drag kicking and screaming in order to disavow that, but now you're complaining about this? Like, is this where we are? Not even the Chinese, like, not even people that are, like, from very prudish culture, like the South Koreans or the Chinese that have a ban on pornography, even they wouldn't have an issue with this. If you are a young lad and you take this lady to present her to your mother, she's not going to complain. What the fuck are we talking about? You know, I think, and this is not just on the left, but it's like this new part of culture. Like, is it pushed by the Zoomers? I don't know who the fuck is pushing it. But it's the idea that they pretend they're offended. Because the reality is, like, no one is offended on this, right? So now they're pretending that this is degenerate in order to try to gaslight the rest of us to believe so as well. Because they're not actually concerned about how women dress. They're not actually concerned about the culture. They just like shaming people. You know, they get a boner by shaming people. It's the type of personality that used to shame people for making racist jokes or for making sexist remarks. But now the culture has moved away and their shaming tactics don't work and they're just trying something else. They're trying to gaslight normal, average, heterosexual men who are looking at this and they're saying it's fine. And they're trying to say, no, you're sick in the head. You're possessed by demons. There's something wrong with you. No, the reality is not, because I noticed that if a man would go out and they would start enjoying, you know, like looking at transgender women or looking at gay people, like they don't have anything to comment about that. Like that is not something that they consider it to be degenerate, but the moment like a lady dresses like this, that's when they are horrified. And you know what? I wouldn't even care if she wears cleavage. I wouldn't care. Because that's how women actually dress. Like, I don't know what things are like in the United States. Like, maybe Sharia has taken over. But, like, when I go out, even in professional places, like, I go out to my bank to pay for my mortgage. I go to my accountant in order to talk about my companies. I go out and I do the shopping. I encounter women. And almost all of them, if they're young, right? Like if they're under the age of 30, they will wear apparel, sometimes sexy in nature. Like, yeah, sure, you know, like sometimes you get to see legs. Sometimes they wear stockings, other times they may show some cleavage, but like the overall outfit is still decent. Like they're not wearing a bikini, don't look like Stellar Blake. Cause like, yeah, I get it, you know, like there's a place for everything. When you go on The Office, you know, you can show a little bit of cleavage, but don't go, you know, like you're heading to prom. You don't dress like you're going to a wedding, right? Like there's like a different thing for different places. I do not see any issue with this lady unless she's going to a funeral. Again, different place, right? Like if she was to go to a funeral, then I would get it. But like she's supposed to be a representative, right? She's supposed to be a PR person. Yeah, what's wrong in using her femininity in order to make herself more presentable? Like if you're looking at this and your conclusion is that this is degeneracy, have you considered that maybe you're gay? Like, there's nothing wrong with being a homosexual in 2025. It's perfectly fine, but you're not really going to set standards of morality for like 95% of society. I showed this picture to my wife, and she was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, her colleagues at work dress more provocatively than this. Again, there's no cleavage. And even the makeup, like, she doesn't go all out, right? Like, she's not like a goth with like bright red lipstick, with like brightly colored fingernail, wearing high heels, like none of that. So yeah, no, like seriously, I'm noticing this trend of trying to gaslight people. That like this is not okay. You're not supposed to admire this because like this is degenerate. Degenerate is becoming the new word for problematic. Did you notice that? Because the thing is, like, yeah, no, like I agree. Like there are certain things that are degenerate and they should be called out, but apparently, we're calling those out less, and instead we're focusing on stuff that has no degeneracy whatsoever. Like, are you seriously trying to tell me that if this girl was your daughter, and she was going like this to university, you would be concerned? Right? Like, I mean, compared to her colleagues, I would say no, like, she's actually pretty conservative. She's not even wearing high heels. Yeah, so, like, they made an entire article complaining about the way she looks. Oh my goodness, she has femininity. She doesn't look like a AAA character from a video game. Oh, absolutely horrible. Haram. Haram. Call the priests, right? Like, call the priest to sanctify her. Get the Melody back to lecture her about the Bible and make her cover her head, right? Like a Eastern European babushka. Just wear a rag on her head, hide her hair, you know, like, maybe actually she should shave her hair. Maybe that's what she would. You know, she would support the Make-A-Wish Foundation haircut, and then all of a sudden everything would be fine. Make no mistake, a lot of the people that are complaining about this are leftists. Like men that are boiling with testosterone, they have absolutely no problem with this. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.